How's it going, guys? It's John here from Hot Take Hockey. If you're here, please subscribe, drop a like. Would really appreciate the support. We got another trade. I was actually waiting a bit to see the conditions on this trade because there are some conditions on the picks, but I have the information now. So Matt Zuccarello gets traded from the New York Rangers to the Dallas Stars in exchange for a conditional second and third round pick. So Bob McKenzie just tweeted out Zuccarello off to Dallas pending trade call in exchange for a second round pick in 2019 and a third round pick in 2020. The second rounder becomes a first if Dallas wins two playoff rounds. The third becomes a first if Dallas re-signs Zuccarello. So this is a little different. When the trade happened, I was like, I'm still kind of skeptical about it, but when it first happened, I was like, are you kidding me? Now I can see where the Rangers were a little sneaky in this, that, you know what, if Zuccarello signs with the Stars and they make it past two rounds, which is possible, I wouldn't say it's likely, but it's possible. You got two first round picks for Zuccarello. That would be huge. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. So they get at least a second and third round. I think if they get a second and third, that's pretty cheap. I think that's pretty underwhelming. Just seeing the Dzingel return, which I'm kind of surprised about. People are already complaining about two second round picks, but a second and third round pick for me, and Zuccarello's worth more, and I think down the line in the playoffs, he's worth more. Just a playoff experience in terms of like buyers and looking at the wingers that are available. Zuccarello probably had the most playoff experience, and just for me, the fact that he only got a second and third round pick possibly. I like the conditions from the Rangers side. I just would have liked it to be more of a guarantee because I think those two conditions are not very unlikely, but more on the unlikely side for the Stars. Like winning two rounds and re-signing Zuccarello, I'm not sure how that works out. I think it's more likely they re-sign Zuccarello, but then the Stars also look at that as we can just sign someone else in free agency instead of losing a first round pick. So, you know what? I think if Rangers only get a second and third, I think they lose this deal. I really like it for the Stars if that's the case. Zuccarello will now probably slide with Faxa and Jamie Benn on that top line on the right side, or he'll take Hintz's spot on the left side and be with Sagan and Spezza. But either way, the top six gets a lot better with Zuccarello. I'm not sure where Blake Como slides in. Like I just said, if Zuccarello goes where Hintz is, then Blake Como will possibly stay on the top line with Faxa and Jamie Benn. But either way, Zuccarello will definitely slot in on the top six because he can play on both the left, right side. Small left-hander. He's very sneaky. Will go right on the top power play unit, I would imagine, with the likes of Jamie Benn and Sagan. So I think it's a really good move for the Stars. The conditions is really what decides who wins this trade in the future and how the Stars do in the playoffs. I think obviously the Stars have kind of put their foot forward and want to win this year, especially with all the issues that have happened this year with Sagan and Jamie Benn with management and ownership. So that's also something to consider. So the Rangers, you know what? I think they might make up for it in possible returns for Kevin Hayes, Chris Kreider, and Adam McQuaid. So we'll see what happens with the Rangers. The return, like I said, we'll have to wait and see what happens in the playoffs. I know the Rangers are going to be definitely rooting for the Stars to do well and for them to re-sign Zuccarello possibly, unless maybe the Rangers bring him back. I don't know. Just trying to look or go through all the scenarios in my head. I guess the last thing we can do is go through Zuccarello's stats, but I've always really liked Zuccarello. I mean, he's undersized, he's a small player, but really smart. His playmaking ability is up there with anyone, and I've really liked him with the Rangers. I think he's always been the guy that's been underappreciated, and I think if you talk to a lot of Rangers fans, he is a fan favorite and was one of the better players this year. So let's go over his stats. I think for the next guy that's going to be out the door, and Kevin Hayes, big centerman. I think teams like Nashville, Winnipeg are looking closely on him. So expect a trade from Kevin Hayes before Monday. But through 46 games for Zuccarello, he has 11 goals, 26 assists for 37 points. So not bad. 37 points in 46 games, that's not bad at all for a Rangers team that struggled. So he's 31 years of age at the end of this contract. There was also talk that maybe the Stars or maybe the Rangers retain some salary. I haven't seen anything about it. I will put the link in the description if anything changes around this deal. That's the only problem with me posting these trades right as they happen and before the pending or before the trade goes through the league. So we'll see if anything does ever change. The link will be in the description. But also go follow me on Twitter. Go follow Hot Take Hockey on Twitter, Instagram if you'd like. And join the Discord. All of those links are in the description. Leave your comments, your opinion on this trade. Who do you think won this trade? I think we have to wait to see on the conditions, but I really like it for right now for the Dallas Stars. And if I'm talking about right now for the second and third round pick, I think the Dallas Stars win this trade. Yeah, definitely excited to see more people on this channel. So subscribe, drop a like. This was John from Hot Take Hockey. Peace out.